Hi everyone. This is going to be one last video on scripted reality, or people who know that life has a game aspect to it, where there's certain people that know that there is this game aspect to reality. It reminds me of the game Spoons a lot. You know the card game Spoons, where once you have the cards, you're supposed to really, really slyly take a spoon from the center of the pile. And the point of the game is to try to recognize when somebody takes a spoon, and then you quietly grab a spoon. And the point of the game is you want everybody to grab a spoon, but to keep playing the game. And for the loser, the person who doesn't have a spoon, to just be totally oblivious to the fact that everybody has a spoon already and that the game is over. That's the fun of that game. For everybody to be in on something, and for there to be one sucker out there who's still going along with it. And I think that game is symbolic of one aspect of the society. And one thing, they do like situations where there will be a group of 10 people, and 9 out of the 10 people are in on something, and they're observing that one person. They're doing something, pretending something's organic when it's actually planned, and observing that one off person. It's like the Truman Show. And so, yeah, you either... I don't know exactly where the line is drawn, because there's people out there that are so duped, but you'll see them throw the triad claw hand sign all the time. You know, where the ring finger and the middle finger are stuck together and spread out. The other fingers are spread out. But they seem so duped about things. So it's like the different levels of people. Like how much do they know? If you have somebody that just throws the Masonic M sign or the triad claw, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Do a quick Google search, triad claw. Like, what do they know? How much do they know? But they certainly act in weird ways, and I'm sure that you've heard about gang stalking, and I just like to bring up flash mobs, and these people have a way of operating, modus operandi. You remember it was a big deal back in the day, people, the game, and like thinking of the game meant that you lost. And around that time, you could even see like around a urinal or something, somebody will write on the wall like, you just lost the game. That too is very meta for the way these people operate, that life is a game, everything's a game, you're always on. And, you know, I don't have to get ready, I stay ready. And faking it till you make it, creating yourself. These are all just ideas that these people thrive on. Okay, so before I get to the story for today, I do want to say that I want to make more frequent videos. So if you're watching this, and I just recently posted this, stay on the lookout. I want to make more frequent videos. Sorry I've been MIA. Anyone else been feeling just pretty tired these days? And now summer's officially here. I just saw the moon was pretty low in the sky now, and the sun is feeling hotter than ever. I live pretty far north in Oregon, and it's crazy how fast the seasons change, and how you go from feeling like you don't have that much sun to, oh dang, the sun is just around all the time. Now I feel like it's barely dark at all up here. The sun stays out really late, and then the sun is there bright early in the morning again. It's crazy. It's just crazy how fast everything changes. And now, excuse me, I also have some hay fever. I happen to live in one of the worst places in the world if you are allergic to grass. Anyways, enough rambling. So the story. So this story is about somebody who lived near me at one point in time. And maybe they were just one of them, and that's why they were wacky. Or maybe it was more of a monitoring, like an agent. There are agents. I don't know how this thing works, this web. It's a web, and I don't know, like, how controlled it is, if it's just all spoken behind closed doors. I do believe in things like, uh, what do you call it? When somebody's in charge of somebody else. Oh man, the word will come to me. Handler. I do believe in handlers and local handlers. Like, I believe that my mom was kind of a local handler for these Bafo children. But I don't think it's necessarily super organized. Like, I don't know that my mom's name would be on a list somewhere, like she has a title as, like, handler of this sector. It's just like an underground society type thing, and it's just known that she'll take these Bafo children under their wing and give them a pep talk if they're getting into trouble. But anyways, I just want to get into, I'm not saying that this neighbor of mine was an agent who was assigned to me and monitoring me, but it's possible. I think it's very possible that there's individuals out there that are somewhat monitored by the system, and you might move into a new apartment complex and at the same time get a wacky neighbor who is busting in on your life from time to time. So I've spent enough time rambling. I'm just going to get to the story. I have a specific story about this person. So they had a strange name. So I'll just throw off all the red flags. Orange 33 flags. They had kind of a nickname type name. I'll just call them CC. And because their name was like that, also coded. C is the third letter of the alphabet. They like repetition and alliteration. CC. It's like 33, which is one of their favorite numbers. And this person was such a character. And just some specifics about this person that I'll point out that are kind of, orange 33 flags. They didn't really have a normal 9-to-5 job. And so who's paying for your rent? How are you making money for your rent? And I'm not judging that situation at all, because a lot of people live like that. Even a lot of non-Bafo people, just the way society is these days, there's a lot of people out there, myself included, that live off of relatives who have a lot of money and help finance relatives. So this person lives in the apartment, doesn't really have a normal 9-to-5 job. One orange flag, they're a seamstress. And I've just known a lot of off people that's kind of their job. But it's not like I clock in every day and I'm a seamstress. Their house was a pigsty. Not super dirty, but hoarder status, I would say. But a lot of clothing material around, and they were allegedly a seamstress. I don't know. Never really saw visitors around there or anything. And mostly kept to herself, but she would come and talk to us every once in a while. I lived with somebody else at the time. Friendly neighbor. Another maybe orange flag. They were really good at singing too. And so putting that all together, the seamstress, like making costumes, making different clothing, being a singer, maybe an agent. I don't know. I don't like naming names from the past, digging up names from the way past. John Humanity. You know how John Humanity was a really good singer? My hunch is that John Humanity worked on a cruise ship. It reminds me of the type of people that work on a cruise ship who will be multi-talented and kind of that would be an appealing job to these people traveling the world and making Bafo friends all over. So friendly person, seamstress, sings, kind of an off person, strange personality, but very friendly. Maybe, I don't know if they were monitoring me or not. I have no idea if it was like a targeted thing or strange Bafo person moved into me. It seems odd though. It seems really odd because I lived in a college town at the time and this person had nothing to do with the university. It's an expensive place to live. So I can't imagine why you would live there. Like if you didn't have a job and you were just a seamstress, I don't know why you would live in a college town in a similar situation to this person. But I'm not here to judge. So those are the circumstances around it. And now I'll just tell one particular story. Um, I went inside this person's house a few times. Like they were very friendly in a weird way where it's like I clearly don't really want to associate with you as much as you're trying to associate with me, but they were friendly and I went inside their house a few times. I had strange vibes, but nothing over ever really over the top. But one day, there was one day that was over the top. And normal day in my house until I noticed that there was zero water pressure. There was no water pressure in the house whatsoever. And the living situation, it was like a really tiny little house, basically attached to another tiny little house. And I lived in one of them. Cece lived in the other one. And so after a long time, couple hours of noticing that there's no water pressure, okay, something's up. And I went and talked to my neighbor about it, and she was acting all like clueless about the situation. And I thought that that was weird. So then I told my landlord about it, and my landlord lived like right next door, well, worked right next door, and he could come check it out. And I just left for the day. I didn't really think much of it. And I left for the day and came back in a few hours, and there were some plumbers out in the it was a situation where the water main was like out in front of the house at the curb. And I thought it was still weird that like I didn't know what was going on. But then so I went home, and then I left again, and I walked down another part of the house. Now I was walking past Cece's house, like to the back, kind of had an alley behind the house. And when I went in the back, I saw a huge amount of water just all coming down the back of the house. And I was like, well, okay, that's weird because clearly we're having this water issue. So I peek my head over the fence, and I see that my neighbor Cece has the hose just running full blast. Her hose was just running full blast. So I was like, okay, well that's clearly the situation. So I went and I told Cece, hey, by the way, your hose is running in the back. It's going crazy. And when she went in and turned off her hose, lo and behold, the water pressure in my house went back to normal. So it was entirely caused by my neighbor. And the weird thing is that she totally denied it. It was one of those strange situations where everything will be plainly seen, total plain sight. Everybody sees the facts that are laid in front of them, but then they'll just deny it. Like, it was a weird thing where afterwards she was denying that it was because her hose was running, even though. So my memory of past events isn't 100%. And you know, if you've ever had these strange situations where like none of the facts are making sense, and it's like, because I don't remember exactly how it was, but I remember that she was like somehow after the fact denying that this whole water pressure thing was because she had the hose running full blast in her backyard for what looked like hours. And this just shows you like the kind of craziness that these people are up to. It honestly reminds me of, this has happened just with my brother, where all sorts of silverware was disappearing from the house, and I saw like a cup in my brother's trash can, and he was living with me at the time, and I said, yo, you're the one you're just throwing away all of our cups and silverware. Can you stop doing that? And he tried denying it to my face. Like, right. He was like, no, I'm not. Like, and there was literally a cup. These people are crazy. I had the trash. I was like, okay, well, here's the trash can. Here's a cup inside of the trash can. So you clearly threw the cup in the trash can. We're in your room. And he still said, no, I didn't. Like, that's the level of delusion these people come to. And I remember that my neighbor Cece was the same way about the hose situation. Like, I informed her that her hose was running, and I don't remember if it was like right at that moment she was like, oh no, it's not, or something, but it was like later after the fact she was pretending like it had never happened. Like like the water problem was I don't remember if she pretended like the water problem never happened, or if like it wasn't because she had been running her hose for 2 hours earlier that day. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Looking back now, I don't know exactly what was going on. Yeah, did I just have a really bizarre neighbor? And my feelings at the time were that this person was just trying to get my attention. Like, that after the fact, after everything was said and done, yeah, I had all sorts of question marks going on in my head. You're crazy, neighbor. I could tell that they were just gaslighting me, or attempting to gaslight me. the word gaslight gets thrown around all over the place these days. It comes from real life, and these people doing this exact thing where you're there, you just witnessed, like, lady, I just saw your hose running down, and I know that she was like trying to deny the situation in some capacity. I don't remember the details, but that's gaslighting, where you're in a situation, the facts are here, and somebody's trying to deny it to your face or say, oh no, that's not what just happened, trying to make you question your sanity. And so yeah, that they were nice. I don't know, maybe they were monitoring me, but yeah, to go back, I was trying to say that day I had an odd feeling that they were like lonely and trying to get my attention. So that's why they were just running the water. They wanted to cause a scenario, and this is so baphos behavior, to create a scenario, to create a fake not a catastrophe, but like an event to create drama, just because they're bored. Maybe she was just bored that day and wanted to create drama. Like in my previous videos, my friend who just wanted to pretend like their car broke down in the middle of a light. Just they like to just create fake drama in people's lives and create fake events like this. Okay, so not the most intense story, just dealing with water, hose, and a wacky neighbor I once had. And looking back, I think maybe they were just some sort of agent who had a little time for a side gig of keeping track of people, possibly. Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt like you moved into a place and all of a sudden a new neighbor came in, and the neighbor was strange and unusual and maybe orchestrated a few psyops against you. Because I think it's probably pretty common. And you can leave any suggestions for videos. I'm thinking just quick videos. I want to go back to making more frequent videos. Of course, talk about the Bible, talk about Jesus, and because that's the most important thing. And it's really all that matters. So, hope you all are doing well. God bless everyone.